Carry On Gaming podcast, where each week different people come together in a modern world to talk about what we're playing, what we're excited to play, and most importantly, we try to keep calm and carry on gaming. My name is Grady. You can find me on Twitter at @AFriendlyPest, and I am joined by...
I'm Stephan, and you can find... Oh my god, this is awful. I'm Stephan. Just someone else go.
Would you like me to introduce you, Stephan?
Yes, please.
Right.
Wow.
This is the corpse.
Oh, come on. Be nice. Be nice.
We're now Undertakers.
I'm Stephan, and you can find me on Twitter on Hellblazer_Sith.
I'm Dan. You can find me on Twitter at JourneymanDan.
Hi, I'm Nigel Dickinson, and you can find me on Twitter at @DickensNigel. Made a mistake there.
It's a mistake there.
It's okay, though. Mistakes is how we learn, innit?
Right. Carry on.
Sorry, my name is Chris. You can find me at Universe 25.
I am Universe 25.
Yeah, what? I am Universe 25 because I don't really use it. So I don't remember my name.
Perfect.
Follow me.
Let's start with what we're playing. Dan, you like talking.
Yeah, so it's been a pretty busy week for gaming, like a lot of game releases this week. First off, I've been playing 12 Minutes, so that was just uploaded to Game Pass the other day, and I've been looking forward to that for a few months now. Still not sure how I feel about it. Like, there's an interesting story at the heart of it, but like the gameplay loop, literally the loop is really repetitive. Like, I've probably done it, I'd say 30 or 40 times now, and you do slowly, reveal stuff, but it's just, the grind to get there. Like, it's very frustrating, and it can be hard to, keep yourself going. I know you've been playing that, Grady. What do you think of it?
Man, that sounds like married.
Interesting point. No, I wasn't that excited about it to begin with, and I find it frustrating in kind of the same way that King's Quest is frustrating. Like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do different, and then when you finally make a breakthrough and you make a little bit of headway, it feels pretty good, and then you're stuck again. And I would say I probably completed 30 or 40 loops, and then it was either not play the game anymore or look up a guide. So I looked up a guide and kind of run to the story for myself. It was an interesting game, interesting kind of experiment in gaming, I guess. More not for me than for me. So, but it was okay.
I've seen a lot of people heralding it as this success for indie gaming, for an artistic triumph. I don't see that personally. Personally, I just see a really frustrating loop. And I guess I saw someone was interested in adapting it into a film. Good luck, but I don't see the hype myself, and I'm disappointed.
Never been a film with a loop like that for sure.
No,
no, it's okay.
Looper isn't a film at all.
It seems well made. It seems polished enough. There's a couple times where the interface, which is kind of a point and click and drag, did something I didn't want it to do, and it would mess up a loop effort, and I would have to start all over again to try to dig story out of it. And I did drag out more of the story than I realized. I was actually further along than I appreciated before I looked up the guide. And the performances were good enough. So as an indie game, I think you could call it a success. And if it's a game for you, then you'll really enjoy it. But for me, Quake also came to Game Pass this week, 4K version of Quake 1. With a lot of expansions and stuff like that, and the campaign's co-op, and that's more for me than 12 minutes. I've really been enjoying that, but carry on, Dan.
A success. It's definitely a success. People are enjoying it. I'm just saying it's not this artistic triumph that everyone is claiming it is, but oh well, that's just my thoughts on that.
Real quick, before you move on, what would you consider an artistic talent, or
triumph?
Yeah, triumph.
I guess it's just the perfect melding of gameplay, story, and just something that could not be told in any other art form is told for a video game. I guess like one that comes to mind for me, BioShock Infinite. I think that's like a pretty big, artistic triumph for what it accomplished.
I didn't finish that one, so I don't know.
Fair enough.
No, I was thinking more from a just film perspective, what you considered an artistic triumph.
Oh well, I could talk to you all day about that, but we'd
Well,
be
I wanna
we'd be
know
here all
kinda
day.
where on the scale this game would need to be for you to put it in that category, I guess, is what I'm curious about.
Maybe if it wasn't so frustrating. I know that's the point, but it's just it's hard to get yourself into the film. It's like you'll see a lot of like Eastern European cinema or German cinema. Like they are very fantastic films in their own right, but very difficult to get into and focus on.
I get it. No, I don't know. When I think artistic triumph, The Wrath of Khan is the only movie that really comes to the top. You know what I mean? Clearly the best piece of film ever made.
Been a running joke for the past 7 years.
I think if your life in any way mirrored some of the trauma that maybe you see in 12 minutes, then it could be something that resonated with you and you would consider it an artistic triumph. But yeah, for me,
it's subjective. Yeah.
And everything is.
Moving on, this week, saw like my favorite game last year was Ghost of Tsushima, and it's been re-released for the PS5. It's been upgraded, runs at 60 FPS, 4K, new content. I managed to swing myself a free upgrade, so very happy with that. Playing through it again, like I'm remembering all over again why it was my favorite game. It's just such a fantastic. I just love running around Tsushima, love finding the foxes, playing my flute, killing some Mongols. It's a great game. And I'm the new content, haven't really got into that yet, but I'm looking forward to sinking my teeth into it.
Are you replaying the game before you do the new content?
Yeah. Well, the new content merges in with the campaign, so it's a part of it.
Oh, okay, so it's not like you go to an area you couldn't go to before and do stuff there.
Oh, you do. It's a new island. It's just they've made it so it's part of the campaign. You can play it after if you want as well, but it has a place in the campaign where it slots.
I got you. Were you able to transfer your save from PS4?
No, because I don't have the PS4 version installed anymore, and I would have to have reinstalled it and re-uploaded it with like a 50 gig update, and then it's a bloody mess. People are saying it's fixed, but it's not.
That actually has a lot to do with the fact you're replaying it, but you also really like the game.
Yeah, so I don't mind replaying it, but it is the most convoluted thing ever. You have to have the PS4 version installed, then you have to upload the file from that to the cloud, and to do that anyway, you have to have PlayStation Plus, so you have to pay for it, and then you have to download it, and then import it in, and it's just a pain in the ass.
Now, how much was the expansion? I know you said you managed a free version of it, but...
The expansion, you can get it for the PS4 for €20, but if you want it for the PS5, it's 30, including the upgrades.
Okay, kind of on the high end of DLC, but, I mean, depending on the game, any game that I considered Game of the Year, I'd be pretty happy to pay $20 or $30 for more content. Looking at you, Red Dead Redemption 2, you know?
I'm looking at Skyrim. Skyrim Anniversary Edition.
Yes, we'll come to that, don't worry. And other than that, what else have I been playing? Obviously, as always, Game Dev Tycoon. Can't leave a week go by now without mentioning that. I think I played some Red Dead. I've been playing GTA San Andreas, just don't have the mobile version. Plays pretty well, but I the news that they may be remastering free Vice City and San Andreas, I'd be down for that. As long as it's not a lazy rehash, just throwing a port on. If they actually do some work on it, I'd be willing to drop a bit of money to play those games again. And that's me for this week. What have you been playing, Chris?
Well, I've been playing Demio on the Oculus with actually Grady and I played together last night and managed to get all through the entire campaign, or first campaign, I guess.
Yep, got our first dungeon win. Was awesome.
Yeah. First time we tried, we got our beat hard.
It's a super challenging game.
Yeah, we didn't make it past the first level the first time we tried, did we?
No, we had the key, but we couldn't get through the door because there were too many mobs.
Right, and a couple of cave trolls, really hard
anyway,
hitting
it's
stuff.
basically a board game that you play in VR. You're at this table together in a basement. It's awesome. If you guys had Oculus Quests, which I don't know what all crossplay it supports, probably just on the Quest. Anyway, that's fun. That's a great game.
I thought it was supported by the Go, but I may be wrong. I know Population 1 is supported on the Go, so I can't imagine why Demeo, whatever, wouldn't be. But and Population 1, another Oculus game Grady and I have played a couple times together. It's think Fortnite, except in VR and actually fun.
Yeah, it's we haven't got a chance to play it enough to really know, and because it kind of force matchmake you with someone else that you don't know, and you have to listen to them. Our first game, the guy was blasting music at us through his microphone the whole time.
What a
that
jacket.
was it's part of why Party Chat defeated in-game voice. You know what I mean? Because people would do stuff like that.
I did get Grady laughing pretty hard because some dude in the loading area just started shooting me in the face, and I kind of turned and looked at him and gave him like, WTF are you doing? kind of shrug.
It's amazing how much you can emote in VR by just turning your head slow and then looking away. So much emotion is transferred even without any kind of facial changes. No, but that was fun too. That's a pretty cool game. You have to change the magazines and rack the slide on your weapon manually, and it plays better than you would think it played. So that's pretty cool. I enjoyed that as well.
Did you get any feeling of motion sickness while you were playing?
Yes. Not in Demeo, unless I like pull myself close to the board and away too quick. But in Population 1, I could feel it. It wasn't really settling in. It wasn't enough that I needed to stop playing, but I could feel it. I could feel it on the edges.
I didn't really
That's
get
what
any
she said.
from that one. Who?
Damn it, Dan.
Just the edges. But it didn't bother me at all, really, which was kind of shocking because Saints and Sinners, like I played it and I was in for an hour, I think, before it got to be too much, but 30 minutes in, I was starting to feel pretty nasty. But Population 1, I guess the way they narrow the screen for you, or narrow your field of view, I think that really helped me out a lot.
Yeah, when you walk forward, the darkness kind of collapses around the edge of the screen and gives you a tunnel vision. And it does help with the motion sickness quite a bit. You can adjust that or turn it off.
And the screen goes two-dimensional as well.
I didn't realize that, but yeah.
Yeah, it seemed like it did for me. But that, I believe, is about it for this week. Stephan.
So I've been playing Elder Scrolls Online. That's like
Shocker.
all I've been playing.
Who'd have guessed?
Yeah, my Necromancer has completed the Dark Brotherhood quest line. I'm now going around East Skyrim. I have to be careful because there's a war between East and West Skyrim. So I'm doing those quests at the moment. So I'm level 23 at the moment. So I haven't killed any innocent lives lately. But that's what I've mostly been playing. So following quest lines.
The Dark Brotherhood quests, are those mostly you're assassinating people?
Yeah, so...
What a shock.
I
Jesus,
know.
Can't they ever get any originality?
Yeah, the Necromancers killing people. But no, the actual quests were interesting. So I made this mistake. I couldn't find where the quest started. So I was like, fine, I'll level up max my Dark Brotherhood skill tree. And then I found out this woman I was ignoring throughout the whole bloody game was the one giving me quests. I was like, great. I've wasted all my 10 hours to get another Dark Brotherhood quest, but that storyline was so good. I really enjoyed that.
Dark Brotherhood usually is the best quest line in the game.
Yeah, because I'm gonna do Thieves Guild, but I thought I'll level up a bit more because my sneak skill isn't that great. So I ended up in Skyrim because that's where my quest led me. So I'm just trying to clear down my quest line, but I'm not more interested to see what's going on with East and West Skyrim. I can't work out the timeline, though, of when this time rail is based and what the events are between Elder Scrolls Skyrim and Elder Scrolls Online. I haven't looked it up.
Say, have they not just, made that information public, or...?
I don't read stuff.
Oh, right. Gotcha.
I just, kind of throw myself in there. I'm still trying to work out how to get to the centre. I've been, to all the areas of Tamriel apart from the centre now. I haven't worked out how to get there yet. But I'm seeing level 1000s in my area, and I'm like, oh, have I gone a bit too far? But so far I've been alright.
Yeah, what's your level again?
23.
Yeah, you might want to Might want to pull back a bit.
No, never. But there's like some, so I was like wondering what some stuff is, and there's like group quests, and I'm like, I wonder where my group is. Oh yeah, playing other bloody video games.
That's true, actually.
is that
I feel
you,
a certain
Grady?
amount of guilt towards that, but at the same time, I'm glad you're enjoying the game so much.
Yeah, it's great fun.
I always find that with MMOs, like I enjoy it for a while and then I just drop off them.
I'm terrible. I get really hooked into them because I've completed one of the storylines in and all the expansions in Star Wars: The Old Republic. I'm like, okay, I need my next MMO addiction. But then when the new expansion comes out of The Old Republic, I will switch to that. I'm terrible with MMOs. And then I remember Elder Scrolls in the past, I thought it was more of a dungeon thing, so I lost interest. But now it feels more like an Elder Scrolls game. I'm hooked. Like, you can't get me off it.
You're gonna change the name to Grindy Boy.
Yeah. I don't mind the grind.
It actually feels like an Elder Scrolls game now.
But this is why I'm not sick. I am just turning into the Necromancer.
He's
I'm
got
evolving.
Your voice is changing.
Yeah,
That explains the dusty voice, yeah.
yeah, I'm evolving.
Dun,
Sound more like a lich, really.
dun, 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 dun.
Oh, I'll be playing Pokemon when that's out. Grady,
Oh yeah, we talk about that in a bit too.
what have you been playing? Even though you spoke
one.
quite a bit about what you've been playing, what else have you been
No one
playing?
cares.
I
No one cares
wanted
what
to
Grady's
talk
been
with. Yeah, that's cool. I wanted to talk with Dan about that's going to be a 12 minutes is going to be a game that you want to talk about with people, I think. So I would say what I've enjoyed most this week has probably been Quake. When I was younger, I had Quake 2 on my PS1, and I had memories of that campaign and stuff. But I don't think I ever played.
Did you have
Quake
internet
1.
when we were young? Or
No.
technology? Back in the Stone Age?
No, you had 2 tin cans and a rock.
I mean, Atari was analog, right?
Yeah, my first console was an Atari. And then I
Was
got an
it?
NES when I was 4 and a half, 5, somewhere in there. Anyway, in my PS1 days, I used to play some Quake 2, which was some of the first like multiplayer shooter action I ever did. I'd go over to my buddy's house and old tube TV on the floor, and we'd put in Quake 2 and play deathmatch to 100 kills, you know. So never played the Quake 1 campaign, and I don't know if I ever finished the Quake 2 campaign. But playing through that, it's co-op now, and I think it's a great game for that. Just running around blasting things. The music's awesome. The level design is actually pretty good for an old shooter like that. I've been enjoying that way more than I expected, so I'm glad they dropped that in there. I know they added Quake 2 and Quake 3 to the PC Game Pass. I'm hoping those make it to console Game Pass as well, because I'd like to go back through Quake 2 and see how much I remember.
I gave Quake a go as well this week, and kicked my ass. But I enjoyed what I played of it. I played like an hour or two of it. But like, it's always nice because like obviously that wasn't my generation of gaming, but it's nice to go back and reflect on how far we've come, and what all the modern games are inspired by.
And how far we've come, but the Quake is still fun, especially if you're playing it with somebody and you're kind of getting into it and enjoying the music and stuff. And it's like, I think some modern shooters could actually learn a little bit from some of the old shooters just to be a good time. You know what I mean? And co-op will carry the day. And we don't need games that take 6.5 years to come out and don't launch with all their features.
That sounds like
Burn
that
Halo!
That sounds like the
spicy.
My
that sounds like the
feelings are
calls
hurt.
of a very bitter man.
No,
Yes.
I have incredibly mixed emotions on that one. We'll get to that in a little bit, I expect.
Yep.
Let's see. Recompile went into Game Pass. I haven't had a chance to play that one yet. I downloaded it. I'm excited about it. Community game night this week. We did Sea of Thieves on Friday, and that was fun. We had 2 galleons running in the same party chat, so I think 8 people trying to communicate 2 different boats and everything they needed and under fire, and that got pretty confusing and hectic. You'd hear people calling out shots and boats and stuff, and they weren't there because they were on the other crew. But that was a good times. I always enjoy community game night. And, yeah, VR with Chris. Demio. I really enjoy Demio a lot. I'm going to encourage Stephan. You should get that and play with us. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And we promise
hurry
not
up.
to immediately switch games as soon as you download it. Like,
I know,
we did to you.
yeah.
So,
That
Yeah,
that
this
is why,
boring
like,
now.
I don't trust you guys at all.
Grady doesn't play very often. I've been playing quite a bit. Oh, Grady, after we stopped last night, I played through
Something
single
else.
player with 4 pieces. No, still Demio, single player with 4
Damn it, Dan!
characters. And managed to beat that one too.
Oh, good.
It was a good time playing with myself.
In our defense on ESO, at least it didn't cost you anything, Steph. But I do
He
feel
bought
It
the bloody
cost-
pass.
I buy it by the pass because I'm like that with MMOs. Like, come on, I was going to buy it if you played with me or
that's
not.
right. It did cost you money, actually.
No, it cost me
Forget I
my
said
love
that.
for you guys.
That's not true.
It did. You hurt my heart. You ripped it out. And that's why my Necromancer has no soul.
All good relationships are built from pain.
Toss a coin to your next topic, oh podcast of plenty, oh podcast of plenty. Toss a coin to your next topic, oh podcast of plenty.
Let's talk about Halo. So I guess 343 announced this week that when Halo does launch this year, the campaign will not be co-op for 3 months, and then Forge will not be available for 6 months. And that's caused the normal outcry on Twitter. Besides the people that want to use it for ammunition to argue, which we're not going to reference, this immediately brings out people that are super disappointed and express that, and some that do so over dramatically, and then the people that decide to white knight. And it's okay, things are hard, development's tough, you know what I mean? They go that route to an excessive degree. And I think, the truth's somewhere in the middle. I think it's fair to be disappointed when the game was supposed to come out last year, and we had this notion that it might actually come out last year, and then it was delayed an entire year. And now it's still going to launch without features that I think are pretty core to the experience. Not as much Forge. Like, if Forge was 3 months out, wouldn't hurt my feelings that much, even though for some people that's a very core part of the experience. That's their favorite part of Halo, so they probably feel the way I do, when it comes to co-op for me. When Halo launched, the same dude that I grew up with and we would go to the midnight release for Halo at GameStop, and then we would go play through the campaign with like pizza rolls and Mountain Dew, you know what I mean? And it's just something we did for every Halo since Halo 2. We can't do that this time because even after a year delay, the game's not launching with co-op. And that, like I've seen, it's like, oh, well, it's a pandemic and development's hard and you don't understand. It's like, well, it was supposed to come out last year and they pushed it back a whole year. I think the truth is developers need to get better at setting expectations. I think they need to get better at telling people what they can expect when earlier on, instead of, like Cyberpunk, how many times was it delayed? Like, if they had a better idea of how long it was actually going to take to make the game, and I get it. A lot of things pop up that you didn't expect, and development is hard. But it would be nice. It's not like, and there are cases where people get excited about content that's not there. I think No Man's Sky is a good example about that. People got really excited for something that I don't feel like was ever completely promised to them, and they built up and created their own disappointment. In the case of this Halo instance, the players did not create these expectations that they're now disappointed that are not going to be realized at the release date.
Do you know that disappointment you have is the same disappointment I had when, one, I didn't get an invite code to play Halo Infinite, and two, you guys not playing ESO with me. Just so you can...
Grady.
I really do feel guilty about that. So
I'm joking. No, I think with...
He doesn't.
What do you mean?
So I think I'm a bit peeved about Halo Infinite because I like playing the co-op campaign. Normally I play it by myself, but I do like playing co-op campaign because I suck at driving on Halo, and it's a shame that it's not being released with it. And I think they should delay it until at least that concept is out, because I think the co-op campaign is a cool concept. And like you said, with the developer excuse, this game was meant to come out last year.
But I think that for me, like, going way back, I remember when Halo was kind of demoed on an Apple stage, right? It was going to be an Apple game, but they showed off the co-op with the Warthog, if my memory is completely clear on this. But I do remember my first memory of Halo ever was a demo for a section of the game that I don't even think was ever completed or used. But it showed one player using the gun and one player driving. So, like, the first time I even became interested in Halo, it was because it was co-op in a way that games were not to that point. You couldn't play a game co-op like that, not a shooter. So for me, it's what makes Halo for me. I want to play it with other people. Now when it launches, I'll have to either really head down to avoid spoilers, which I kind of have to do already to an extent, or I'll play through it by myself, or maybe have my friend over and sit on the couch and hand the controller back and forth and just make the most of it. First world problems, we'll be all right, but it is
Does it
disappointing.
not even have couch co-op?
Do you even have friends?
Thanks.
But like, does it not have couch co-op?
Sorry.
Well, it will have split screen, but I don't know if it's launching with split screen.
Yeah, they haven't been very clear about that, have they?
If it's launching with split screen, I mean that'll be all right. Though I admit I prefer to play it online now because I'm used to having a whole screen to myself, and I'm not throwing a fit and being over dramatic and sending letters to the developers and stuff. It's not that, It's just genuine disappointment, and I'm still excited for the game. And when people say, well, this needs taken away from 343, obviously they can't handle it. I don't know that that's the case, and they do seem like they're having a hard time growing into the responsibility of this franchise, which I felt like CE Anniversary, they executed well, and I thought Halo 4 was a great game. And Halo 5, I think, was executed well. If not, I didn't care for the campaign. I don't know what the answer is. When something like this happens, it is what it is. You move on. There's small troubles compared to what the rest of the world actually faces, and I'm still excited for the game, but I was super bummed out to learn that I can't play it co-op with my buddy.
So instead, you can play Skyrim Anniversary Edition.
I am
also known as the
actually
Skyrim re-release.
I don't care, I'm buying it.
I'm alright with it, because I never finished Skyrim.
How dare you?
I'll just take the free Series X upgrade. I don't think I'll buy another upgrade.
Fishing. They're adding fishing. Game of the year.
Yep,
I'm stoked for it. Why not? Keep bringing games forward. Make them replayable. It's not like you have to pay for it any extra if you got Game Pass, right?
The upgrade is free. It's just you have to pay for the extra this content.
I'll pay for the content, but some people like asking for Fallout 3 to be remastered, but it's like they would have to make so many upgrades because Fallout 3 had problems, as did
New Vegas.
Yeah, New Vegas. It didn't really run smoothly on the PC, so you'd have to do redevelopment of the games. So I think at that stage it's not worth it. Then some people mentioned Fallout 4, but to me Fallout 4 was the weakest game in the Fallout series. That game was bloody awful.
You haven't said that at all before. We didn't know that.
Yeah.
Every time it's mentioned, only.
Fallout 4, but I could go on a tangent even further about Fallout 4, what was wrong with it. But I think because Skyrim still sells so many copies, you still got that dedicated player base. I think they might as well milk it for what they've got whilst waiting for the next Elder Scrolls. Because they're not going to be making it whilst they're making Starfield.
True.
Milking it's the wrong word. Like, if they're legitimately adding to the experience and people love that game, and you're bringing it into the future in a way that makes it still playable, that preserves the game and even improves the experience at the same time, I'm all right with it.
I mean, if you want that content, you can go and get it right now. It's on the Creators Club.
Yeah, but I'm a Bethesda fanboy. There's no secret about that. Apart from with Fallout 4.
If you want fishing, go and buy it off the Creators Club. It's there. That's what this is. It's just
Was
a
it
bundle.
like a
download
mod
from the
thing?
mod.
Like a collection of mods?
Yeah, it's all these Creator
do a lot of
Club
modding.
like packs bundled.
I know there's a huge base of people that enjoy doing that, especially with their PCs, modding games out to do stuff.
You can do it on the Xbox version, because the Skyrim for Xbox One included mods. The only edition where it didn't include mods was remastered it the first time was Nintendo Switch.
Mm-hmm. It's still not there either.
No, but there is a mod for Skyrim I want to try out, and that's being a bard. Just
Toss a coin to your Witcher.
no, wrong game.
Fine, toss a coin to your Dragonborn.
There you go.
Fusroda.
I did like playing Skyrim with the Kinect and just saying the dragon shouts. That was fun.
Was it worth bumping up the console price €100?
I don't really care.
Debatable.
I don't care.
Wait, I didn't even know that Skyrim was Kinect compatible. I had a Kinect.
Yeah, they only for the dragon shouts.
It is a
Jesus, yeah,
VR
that's-
mode also, doesn't it?
Yeah,
VR version
there
of it?
is a VR version of it, but I don't know if it's out on the Quest. I don't think so. I think it's only
PlayStation, I think.
well, I think it might be on the Rift as well through the Steam store. But I will find a way to play it.
Okay. Like, last point on Halo before we move on, because some people are really defending them hard. I wish there'd be like a little empathy both ways, you know? To appreciate that people are bummed and quit telling them they shouldn't be. And, you know, at the same time, people don't need to be sending death threats to the developers.
Those people need to get their heads checked.
Those people need to get a friggin' life. I'm sorry, but there's real people behind development, and yeah, you may be bummed about the game not being released on time, but there's no need to start that sort of harassment. That's just beyond childish behaviour.
Yeah. This is what I'll say. Like, I'm obviously I'm not the biggest multiplayer gamer, so like I would be playing the campaign on my own. But if this is a core experience, and you can see that a lot of like core players want this experience, and to release it unfinished, well, like you're just gonna upset people, just like CD Projekt Red did when they released Cyberpunk too early. So my 2 cents would be to delay it a few months until that experience is ready. You could put the multiplayer out this winter if you wanted, because that is ready. Just delay the campaign until this core experience can come out day one.
Yeah, not only that, the multiplayer is a free separate thing.
Yeah.
Right? It's not people paying for the campaign and wanting the full experience. But I would say my knee-jerk reaction was delay the campaign, release the multiplayer, right, until the campaign's ready. And that's in my own personal best interest. That's what I want, right? But since then, I have seen a lot of feedback on Twitter where the majority of people play through the campaign by themselves first, and then they do the multiplayer stuff later, which is absolutely not the way I play Halo. But it'd be pretty selfish of me to vote to delay the game when I represent a minority of people who play it a certain way. It's a shame that you're in that position to even make that choice or vote, right? But I guess at some point you just trust the developer to do what they think is best for the game and hope that's the case.
Just don't do a Cyberpunk.
Yes, so long as it's not broken. But it can't possibly meet the people as you say, man, this campaign better be flawless. It's not going to be. It's Halo. It's a very sandboxy shooter. There's no way to make that a linear, flawless
As long as we
experience.
get the sexy Master Chief on screen, we're all good.
No, he's been replaced with the Mistress Chief.
As long as he's a Necromancer, it's alright.
Well, I think we covered it today. Dan, take us home.
Okay, guys, so thanks for listening. Hope you had a lovely week. Hope you enjoyed this week. It was a fun one. Be sure to follow us on Twitter and Facebook to keep up to date with all news about the podcast. And no matter what, just remember, carry on gaming. See you next week, guys.